The day I moved into Meadowbrook Heights, I thought I'd found the perfect suburban haven, quiet streets, manicured lawns, and a stone's throw from my sister's family. I'm Nathan, a freelance web designer who works from home, drawn to this neighborhood to be near my 10-year-old niece, Lily, who has cerebral palsy and now navigates the world in her wheelchair. The whispers about the Homeowners Association's iron grip didn't faze me at first. How bad could it be? I'd soon learn the answer: catastrophic, when the HOA president was a woman the neighbors called Queen Margaret. My first run-in with Margaret Thompson came 3 days after I unpacked my last box. There she stood on my porch, clipboard clutched like a scepter, her ash-blonde pixie cut sharp enough to slice through steel, dressed in a navy blazer that screamed corporate warlord. No. Welcome to the neighborhood. No pleasantries. You've violated 3 HOA regulations, she declared, her voice dripping with authority. My porch ferns were an inch too tall, my mailbox was an unapproved shade of burgundy, and my trash bin had lingered curbside for an extra 3 hours. I stood there, dumbfounded. I'm sorry, and you are? I managed. Margaret Thompson, HOA president, she replied, as if announcing she ruled a small nation. I've kept this community pristine for 8 years, upholding standards that protect our property values. That encounter was a warning shot. Over the next 3 months, violation notices piled up like junk mail. Me window blinds were 2 VY Cybele. My garden hose was improperly coiled for an hour, and most absurdly, I'd caused excessive foot traffic. When my sister's family VY cited one Sunday, that last one stung deep. Lily loved my house, where I'd built a ramp over the front steps for her wheelchair. She adored my backyard, which opened to a community green space with a pond where ducks glided lazily. To get there, she'd wheel along a public sidewalk running beside my property, her face lighting up with every outing. One sunny Saturday in July, my sister, Claire, dropped Lily off for our weekly hangout. We spent the morning battling it out in video games, her laughter filling the house. After lunch, she turned to me, eyes sparkling. Uncle Nate, can we feed the ducks? The path behind your house is so much easier for my chair than going around the block. I grinned, grabbing a bag of duck feed I kept just for her. Let's do it, kiddo. The path was public property, after all, connecting to the pond everyone in the neighborhood used. We slipped through my back gate, Lily pointing out sparrows and reciting facts from her science class, her joy infectious. Halfway to the pond, a sharp clack of heels on pavement cut through the air. This pathway is for residents only. The voice was unmistakable, laced with the smug certainty I'd come to dread. I turned to see Margaret storming toward us, a walkie-talkie in one hand, a large water bottle in the other, her face flushed with what I now recognized as her rule-enforcing zeal. I forced a smile, keeping my tone calm for Lily's sake. Good afternoon, Margaret. I'm a resident, as you well know, and this is my niece, Lily. We're just heading to the pond. Margaret's eyes flicked from me to Lily, narrowing as they landed on her wheelchair. Your niece isn't a resident. This pathway is funded by HOA dues, private property for homeowners only. Guests must remain on your property unless escorted. I kept my voice steady. I am escorting her. We're walking together, and this path isn't your property, it's a common area. Margaret's lips tightened. She's on HOA property without homeowner status. Rules exist for a reason. If we let everyone's guests wander our private paths, we might as well throw open the gates to the public. Lily shrank beside me, her earlier excitement fading. Margaret, she's a 10-year-old who wants to feed ducks. I'm a homeowner, right here with her. There's no rule against this. Her eyes gleamed with triumph. Actually, Bylaw 14, Section 2, Paragraph C states that non-resident minors must stay on their host's property unless entering or exiting the community. This path is a common area, and she's in violation. I was floored by her obsessive recall but pushed back. That's ridiculous. This path connects to public spaces. Are you saying kids need an escort through the entire neighborhood? Rules are rules, Margaret snapped, chin high. Return to your property now, or I'll document this violation. Lily tugged my sleeve, her voice small. It's okay, Uncle Nate. We can go back. Her discomfort broke me, but before I could respond, Margaret stepped closer, looming over Lily. You're trespassing, young lady. Do you know what that means? Something in me snapped. She's not trespassing. She's a child under my supervision on a public path. Back off, Margaret. What happened next felt like a fever dream. Margaret's face twisted with righteous fury. Without a word, she unscrewed her water bottle and dumped its contents over Lily's head, drenching her hair, shirt, and wheelchair. Maybe that'll teach you both to respect private property, she said, a smirk curling her lips. Time stopped. Water dripped from Lily's curls, her eyes wide with shock, then brimming with tears of humiliation. Neighbors froze, some gardening, others strolling, staring in disbelief. I snapped out of my stupor, rage boiling over. What is wrong with you? I yelled, yanking off my jacket to dry Lily's face. She's a child in a wheelchair. Margaret stepped back, suddenly aware of the growing audience. She was trespassing after a warning. I was teaching a lesson about consequences. By assaulting a disabled child? I shot back, shaking. Lily, you okay? She nodded, lip trembling. I'm just wet. Can we go home? Of course, sweetheart, I said, then turned to Margaret. This isn't over. Threatening me? Margaret's voice pitched high, theatrical. I'm enforcing HOA rules, my duty as president. Take it up at the next board meeting. A neighbor, Mrs. Alvarez from down the street, stepped forward. I saw everything, Margaret. That was disgusting. Stay out of this, Sophia, Margaret hissed. You're no saint with your own violations. I pulled out my phone. I'm calling 911. You assaulted a minor. Margaret scoffed. It was just water. You're all hysterical. Another neighbor, a retired cop named Tom, approached. Ma'am, pouring water on a disabled minor could absolutely be assault. I saw it too. Margaret's confidence flickered. This is absurd. I'm upholding community standards. As I dialed, neighbors brought towels, one offering her garage for Lily to wait in. Lily, despite her distress, showed grit. Is she always like that? She whispered as I dried her hair. Sadly, yes, I said. But she's about to learn that even HOA queens answer to the law. Police arrived in under 10 minutes, 2 officers, calm and professional. I recounted the incident, neighbors backing me up, describing Margaret's deliberate act. When the female officer asked Margaret for her side, she launched into a tirade about bylaws and her authority. I'm the HOA president. It's my job to enforce order. The girl was trespassing. The officer cut her off. Did you pour water on this child? Margaret bristled. I was making a point. It was water, not acid. Some people need a VY soul to get it. The officers exchanged a glance. The male officer pulled Margaret aside as his partner took statements. I called Claire, who arrived furious, her face a storm when Lily recounted the ordeal. After confirming Lily was shaken but unharmed, the officers approached Margaret again. What followed was surreal. Margaret Thompson, you're under arrest for assault on a minor and harassment, the male officer said, pulling out handcuffs. You have the right to remain silent. Margaret's face paled. This is outrageous. I'm the HOA president. I was enforcing rules. Being HOA president doesn't let you assault kids, the female officer said coolly. Hands behind your back. A crowd of 20 neighbors watched, stunned, as Margaret was cuffed. Then, a single clap broke the silence. It spread, joined by cheers and a shouted, "Finally!" Margaret's face burned red as she was led to the cruiser, neighbors' applause echoing. I'll see you all, she shrieked. I've protected this community's value for years. Her last words before the door shut. I'm on the zoning board. This'll ruin me. 3 weeks later, I sat in court as Margaret faced justice. The judge sentenced her to 2 years probation, A DU Law 5,000 fine, 200 hours of community service with disability advocacy groups, and a 5-year ban from HOA boards. Margaret's polished facade crumbled. She gripped the table, swaying, her empire of petty power reduced to ashes. As we left, Lily squeezed my hand. "Thanks for standing up for me, Uncle Nate." I smiled. "Always, kiddo. Even queens fall when they cross the line."